Welcome on in today. So today we're going to build an hourly rate calculator. So before we start into it, we're going to talk about what this hourly rate calculator is actually for. So many times when I discuss bidding, I talk about what's your hourly. I'm not saying you should tell customers what your hourly is, but you have a fixed hourly cost that you need to be charging based off of your labor expenses and other things, including profit, that you need to have an idea, or whether that's flexible or not flexible, you need to know what your hourly rate is. So the easiest thing to do is to actually say, okay, we're going to build a calculator that says what that should be and the expenses that we need to build into it. So today we're actually just going to build a calculator right now so that we can be able to figure out what our hourly rate is going forward without any type of frustration. So as you can see, I've got a started here hourly rate calculator. So the first thing we'll do is we're gonna put some info in here of how we're putting this together. So the first way we're gonna start is we're gonna say, all right, we're gonna start by saying what's our employee hourly rate wage. So let's say our employee hourly wage, we say we'll start at 18. So now we have to talk about what kind of other expenses we have. Perhaps you have an ongoing sales commission. Let's say it's 5%. Maybe you decide you charge some sort of administration style fees, right? So you know that it costs, as far as your admin goes, that 6, 5, 10% of your gross profit goes directly into your admin roles. So we can add that fee. We can sit here and say, well, what other types of fees do we have? Obviously, you have insurances, your workers' compensation, and things like that are all in there as well. So you can say, all right, I've got workers' comp, I've got all types of these insurances like that. Let's say it's 9% for workers' comp, general liability, bond cost, whatever. All of these numbers we can adjust as we go too. What other costs do we have involved? Well, we have you're going to have supply cost. So supply costs, you should probably maintain under 3%. In some cases, you're not going to be able to do that. There's some types of jobs that burn through the supplies a little more than others, but in theory, 3% should be sufficient for you. Now we got to talk about some other expenses. Maybe you have some other type of expense percentage that you need to incorporate. We can also incorporate that. So let's say in this scenario, it's 1%. What about something like a special equipment, right? Let's say I have to rent something for a job. So I say, all right, my special equipment, um, let's say I know my job is going to be 200 hours, or excuse me, it's $200. I've got 100 hours invested in it. I know that I've got two more dollars an hour that I need to add. And then maybe there's some other type of expense too that I want to make sure that I account for. So I'll put an other category. Maybe eventually this isn't labeled other and this is labeled as gas or something that else that I want to incorporate in here. And let's say in this example, the cost of it is $1, and I'm going to build that over the course of the 100 hours that I have invested into this. So now I know that's 1 penny per hour that builds into this cost. Have I forgotten anything? Well, I've forgotten at least two things, right? One of which is our labor taxes. So all the taxes that you put that you have to do, that you have withholding, and you have to match all of these taxes. We're going to say in this scenario we're at 21%. We can clearly move this up. We can say it's 25. We can say it's 25%, and we're still going to get a total here. And we'll still get our total here. Little technical difficulties. And then we need to make sure that we actually have a line item for what profit margin we want. So let's say our profit margin is 30%. We'll know what that is, adding to our hourly too. So now we have all our expenses. Now what is our actual hourly? We'll build that in right here. So let's see what this looks like. Let's say our hourly pay is $22 an hour. We pay an ongoing commission. Say it's 3%. Administrative fee is 9%. Insurance, we'll say, is 10%. We'll say our supplies are 3%. Let's say we have a other expense percentage that we build into this. Maybe it's a fixed cost of 1%. So we just build it in at 1%. But what if there's other things that we need to build into this too? Let's say we do have a special equipment, and in this case, special equipment, we look at and we say the equipment costs us $200. We got 100 hours invested in it. It's $2 an hour we need to add. And let's say we use some sort of specialized tracking app for our people. And that app cost us per account, say it cost us $30 per month per account. We have 100 hours in this account per month that we've already figured on the actual what it's going to actually be hours wise. So we'll just say, all right, what's that look like? That looks like 30 cents per hour is what we need to add to our line item. Their labor taxes are 26%, and we want to make a 32% profit margin. Now, starting out with a $22 per hour, our hourly rate of charging a customer should be $42.78 in order to make all of these things. In order to meet all of these things and still make your profit. So I hope this quick explanation is helpful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click here. I'm going to make this a shareable document. What a shareable document is going to do is if you can have access to it as a view file, and then as this view file, as long as you're logged in to Google, you'll go to the file button and make you a copy of it. So then you can tweak this however you want. You can save it and tweak it. That way, anytime you need to build your hourly rate, you can just play with a few different figures here to get an hourly rate customized for each job if you so choose, or you can know at least a rough idea what your hourly billing should be in any situation. So if this is kind of a typical outline for you, you know your billing amount should be roughly $43 an hour. Now, this only going to work as long as you make sure that your hourly bidding, what you're coming up with per hour, is accurate. And how you're going to do that is with another calculator, in which case we have the free basic and we have the upgraded um, calculator guide as well. There's videos upon it. Um, I'll also put them in the description of this. I'll put the link to this form in the description of this as well. So just check it out, download your copy. If you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button, or share this with somebody that will find it helpful. Until next time,